Alrighty, the winter is winding down and I gotta finish this series up. So welcome back to part 5. I'm gonna say 5, but welcome back to another edition of
the winter of...
Okay, you know what? We're gonna skip that cringy intro. But anyway, the winter of Soundcore. Alrighty, so continuing on our ever-going series of Soundcore reviews, today's episode is no different. We're once again taking a look at another great pair of headphones from Soundcore, but this time we're going semi-back in time because we're gonna take a look at a good old-fashioned headphone that everybody loved a few years ago that did get a recent upgrade, hence the name, Liberty 2 Pro Upgraded Edition. And we're gonna take a look at them and see what did Soundcore do and where do these fit in with their ever-growing lineup. All of that on today's episode, so stay tuned. Now, full disclosure, I have technically already reviewed these as these are ultimately a one-to-one re-release of the Liberty 2 Pro. So there are gonna be moments where you'll see white variants, but essentially I am just, to save on time and also to help because I have a very tight schedule, I'm gonna borrow some footage from my old review, but I encourage you all to check out my previous review of the Liberty 2 Pros and watch a younger me with long hair. It's gonna come back one day. But check it out and let me know your thoughts down below on my previous review. We're gonna recycle some footage. I guess that's how we do it anyway in Hollywood, but I will also film some new stuff for it. But anyway, this review will be a little bit quicker, but I will give you guys everything you need to know. Now we got that out of the way, let's start it up. So first things first are the earbuds themselves. Now out of the box, ultimately the unboxing is the same as all Soundcore headphones, so I'm gonna brush right through it, but taking a look at the earbuds, they are essentially the same Liberty 2 Pro. They essentially are the same design, same ear tips, same silicone ear tips that come with them, the ear hooks. They have the same size of the earbuds. They still have a physical button on them, which is something that I still like. I don't know why a lot of people didn't like that, but I found myself liking that. The charging case is also exactly the same, but there is one minor difference that's more of an aesthetic difference, as the logo and the Soundcore logo on the earbuds are in a copper color rather than, I believe it was, I don't know. But anyway, that is one of the slight differences, as it does have a different coloring. And the earbuds themselves do have a little bit better technology inside, which is what we'll get to in just a second. But real quickly, putting them in your ears, they do fit comfortably, just like the Liberty 2 Pros. They are a little bulky, but of course we knew that already. So if you don't know anything about these headphones going into them, again, you really wouldn't have to know almost nothing about the Liberty 2 Pros. So overall, when it comes to the unboxing, the earbuds, the case, everything, it is exactly the same. There is no reason for me to go into detail. But now we can go into some details with the specs. Now this time around, the big differences are all inside of the earbuds. Because this time around, the Liberty 2 Pro Upgraded Edition now have a brand new set of features. The first one being is transparency mode, which we will discuss in a moment. It also has a slightly smaller battery because of the transparency, but if you turn transparency off, you can retain the 8-hour playtime. With transparency on, it is 7 hours, 26 hours total with the charging case. It has Bluetooth 5.0, and the biggest change, the one reason why it's called the Upgraded Edition, is the inclusion of LDAC. Now, Soundcore has gone all out on LDAC support for most of their earbuds. This is one of 3 earbuds that supports LDAC in their in-earbud series. The Liberty Air 2 Pros, the Liberty 3 Pros, and now the Liberty 2 Pro Upgraded Edition. Those are the only 3 earbuds that support LDAC. The over-ears, they do support, some of them. But anyway, taking a look at them, they do of course feature the same Astria coaxial design. It is the 1.0 version, not the new 2.0, which we will discuss. And lastly, it also comes with wireless charging. So overall, when it comes to the specs, the real big differences are inside of the earbuds themselves. And that is really where they shine, and we'll discuss in just a second. Now, when it comes to the sound quality, you can see I'm picking up the pace in this video because this is going to be a quick one. But when it comes to the sound quality, that is where these things once again shine. Now again, sound is subjective to everybody. Everybody has a different profile, everybody has different hearing. And based on my experience, I can tell you guys that it is no different from when I listen to the Liberty 2 Pros. Essentially, it is the same sound signature. However, there is one area that I did notice a minor difference. In terms of the low end, it is nice, deep, and punchy, but I will get to the comparisons in just a second. We also have mostly nice, clear vocals and separation because of the astro-coaxial design. But one area that I noticed is slightly different is the treble. The treble is a little bit overpronounced for my liking. I actually had to turn it down in my EQ setting, which I'll show you when we get to the app features. But the sound signature ultimately is the same with these, so there really is no big difference from the Liberty 2 Pros to now, if you want to include the treble. But of course, with that ACAA design, it does give you a nice variety of a soundstage. You hear every bit of detail, and it is a great experience. And when you use spatial audio with these things, if you have an iPhone with Dolby Atmos, oh yeah, it's a trip. So overall, when it comes to the sound quality, it is great. As for the LDAC, you do hear a nice difference when you're using an Android, but if you're on an iPhone, you're not really gonna notice it. But if you're an Android user, you're gonna have a lot of fun with the LDAC support because these things take full advantage of it because they have the build and they have the sound to deliver. Alrighty, last thing to talk about, of course, is the app and the transparency. Now, inside the app, it does have a nicer redesign of the OIS based on from the previous Liberty 2 Pro designs. Now you do get your battery status, you do get the option to use the transparency or normal. In terms of transparency, I actually did find myself enjoying using the transparency, and of course there is no active noise canceling because they saved that for the Liberty 3 Pros. Honestly, with good noise isolation and a good fit, I almost don't even really need it. All I would consider is probably transparency and normal. So I'm actually fine with no active noise canceling. That's actually a plus for me. And also looking through the app, you have, of course, your personal EQ, which you'll see that I use in all of my headphone reviews. You also have the array of Soundcore EQs that you can use. You have your Grammy Award-winning EQs, Hear ID, and then you can customize the controls. Once again, and I don't know why I've noticed this, but why is there no triple tap feature? The only headphone of my knowledge that has the triple tap are the Liberty 3 Pros. I'm pretty sure these can support triple tap. So Soundcore, can we get a triple tap in some of your premium ones, especially Liberty Air 2 Pro and this one? Of the headphones that have them, I think these should have them. But anyway, overall, when it comes to the app and features, it's essentially the same that you get with every Soundcore experience, but it is nice to have the transparency, and I do find that a very good feature. This is a microphone sample of the Soundcore Liberty 2 Pro Upgraded Edition. This is what they sound like in a general average everyday environment in home. Personally, after listening to the audio back, it honestly does not sound any different from the original Liberty 2 Pros. I would say that they are still a respectable microphone quality, but not much has changed from the previous model. So let me hear your thoughts down below. What do you think of the microphone? So overall, what do I think of the Liberty 2 Pro Upgraded Edition? Man, I'm getting the names mixed up. But listen, guys, I will say that these are a nice upgrade. They're definitely a must-have for Soundcore Liberty 2 users. However, here's where I have to kind of separate my fanboy and consumer perspective. Because here's the thing. This is good for somebody that has the Liberty 2 Pro that can't afford the Liberty 3 Pros. Because these are priced at around $120. So they're not that expensive. And considering the Liberty 2 Pros, the original Liberty 2 Pros, are priced at $99.99, for an extra $30, you do get a better improvement in sound quality if you're an Android user. But that is exactly the key. Because I can only see this being a big upgrade if you're an Android user. Because let's say you have an iPhone and you're thinking of upgrading. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to an iPhone user because you can't use LDAC on an iPhone. If you want a new set of buds, you can go this route, or you could save up a little bit more and get the Liberty 3 Pros or wait for them to go on sale. It's a tough situation because if you look at the Soundcore lineup, we have Liberty 2 Pro, Liberty 2 Pro Upgraded Edition, Liberty 3 Pro. So you have 3 different Pro headphones, and each of them do serve a different niche for different target audience. But if I was Soundcore, I would have considered, at the very least, to have discontinued the Liberty 2 Pro for continuity's sake, and reduce the price from $129 to around $109. So that way you have people that can buy in the Liberty 2 Pro series with the upgraded edition, and you can still reserve the Liberty 3 Pro at the $169 price point. So that way there's a nice big difference for when people want to make the jump. But that's just me being nitpicking and looking at market shares, etc. We're here talking audio. So overall, these are, once again, there's still everything that Soundcore delivers, but I do have a little bit of a struggle recommending them to specific users. I'm not saying don't buy them. If you're an Android user and you have the older models, they're definitely worth the upgrade because of LDAC. But for everyone else, you may want to look at the Liberty 3 Pros or maybe even another pair of headphones, because these are minor upgrades if you don't have an Android. That's just my opinion, that's just my thoughts. But again, everybody's entitled to their opinion. So let me hear your thoughts down below. What do you think of the Liberty 2 Pro upgrade editions? If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, you can hit the dislike button. That helps circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next Soundcore review. We are going to take a look at the Liberty Air 2 Pro 1 year later. I'll see you all on that, but until then, peace!